Hey, how y'all doing? I'm going to talk about my part of the book of Fast Food Nation. Now, when most people go to McDonald's or Burger King and get a burger, they're just so excited to eat it, they just go right into it. But they don't understand that they could be consuming one of the deadliest foodborne pathogens that there is. It's called E. coli 0157H7. And what it is it's a bacteria that comes from cows, obviously. Now, the way the cows get it is they're put in these feeding houses to grow up and eat until they're ready to be slaughtered. But these places are horrible, unsanitary places where the cows have nowhere to move. They poop where they are, they eat where they are, and everything is so unsanitary that this bacteria that thrives in poop will get into their food and they'll consume it. Now, after they consume it, they don't show any signs of being infected with this. Now, what this does is this allows them to be slaughtered with all the other cattle, but then have their meat mixed into the big mixer that goes into making ground beef. Now, only one cow can contaminate 32,000 pounds of ground beef. Now, the average plant has over 800,000 pounds of meat shipped out per day. Now, what that does is, I'm guessing not only one cow is going to be infected in conditions like that, so we don't actually know how much of the meat is contaminated. Now, what we do know is that the bacteria will die if it's cooked over 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the problem is if one piece is undercooked, and I mean like only this much, it can give you the lethal dose of that bacteria. Now, there are ways that you can prevent yourself from eating this kind of meat and getting this bacteria. Now, obviously, if you cook your own food, make sure that your beef is cooked thoroughly. It's better to have it overcooked than undercooked. So if you go to a restaurant and you're trying to get a burger and they ask you, how you want it cooked, it's better to ask for it well done than medium rare, because you don't know if that meat is contaminated or not. So also, you pay attention to things called recalls that they'll say on the news, but the processing plants that call back all the meat don't have to say where they shipped the meat to. They can tell you a place like, well, we shipped it to Florida, but they won't tell you that they shipped it to the McDonald's in Florida. So if there's a recall, you probably should make your own food. There are ways that you can get this bacteria without eating meat. Okay, if somebody's infected, they're usually contagious for 2 weeks. So really, it's good to have good health habits. Wash your hands, wash countertops, keep your house clean, all that good stuff, so that you can protect yourself from getting this potentially fatal bacteria in your system. If everyone was aware about what goes on in processing plants and packaging plants, we really could make this a healthier process and cut down on the amount of people that get infected with this bacteria. So knowing is the first thing and acting is the second thing. And that's really what this book is trying to say is if we know how these things are made and what goes into them and how to prevent it, that we should really take the next step in making this a healthier business.